The last survivor, the small escape pod, floated in the cold darkness of space like a broken toy. Inside, Kira pressed her face against the tiny window and watched her home world burn. Orange flames covered the beautiful blue planet she once called home. The fires looked like angry scars across the surface where green forests used to grow, where her family used to live, where her people used to laugh and sing under 2 golden suns. Now there was only fire and death. Kira's breathing was getting harder. The air felt thin and stale inside the cramped pod. Red warning lights blinked all around her, casting scary shadows on the metal walls. Each blink reminded her that she was dying slowly. Oxygen at 15%, the computer said in its calm, cold voice. Life support failing. Engine power offline. Communications down. She knew what those words meant. She had maybe 2 hours of air left. No way to call for help. No way to fly anywhere. Just enough time to watch her world die and then join it. The Krax Empire had come without warning. Their huge black ships appeared in the sky like giant insects. They didn't want to talk. They didn't want to trade. They only wanted to destroy. Kira remembered running through the burning streets of her city. The screams of her people. The sound of Krax weapons turning buildings into dust. Her mother pushing her toward the escape pods at the spaceport. "Live, my daughter," her mother had whispered. "Remember us. Tell the galaxy who we were." But who would Kira tell? The Krax had killed everyone. Every Zalani man, woman, and child. Every teacher, artist, farmer, and dreamer. Gone. All gone. She was the last one. The only one left to remember her people's songs and stories. Kira opened the small recording device in her shaking hands. She had to try. Someone somewhere might find this message one day. "My name is Kira of the Zalani people," she said to the recorder. Her voice cracked like broken glass. "We lived on the 3rd planet of the Zephyr system. We were peaceful. We never hurt anyone." Tears floated in the air around her face. In zero gravity, tears don't fall down. They just float like tiny crystal balls, carrying all her sadness. The Krax came 3 days ago. They destroyed our cities. They killed our families. They said we were weak and didn't deserve to live. Kira wiped her eyes with her sleeve. But we weren't weak. We were kind. We helped each other. We took care of our old and young. We made beautiful music and art. The oxygen alarm beeped again. 12% now. We studied the stars and dreamed of meeting other peaceful races out there. We built gardens and libraries, not weapons and armies. Maybe that's why we died so easily. Kira looked out the window again. Her planet was darker now. The fires were spreading. Soon there would be nothing left but ash and silence. I don't know if anyone will find this message. Maybe the Krax will destroy this pod too. But if someone good finds it, please remember us. We were the Zalani. We loved stories and starlight. We believed the universe was full of friends we hadn't met yet. Her chest felt tight. Each breath was harder than the last. The air tasted metallic and wrong. We were wrong about the universe, I think. But we were right about love. Love is the only thing that matters. Love for family, for home, for strangers who might need help. Kira closed the recorder and held it against her chest. Her eyes felt so heavy. The pod was getting colder. The red lights were dimming. "I'm sorry, Mother," she whispered. "I tried to live. I tried to remember." She closed her eyes and thought about her mother's warm hugs, her father's terrible jokes, her little brother's laugh when they played hide-and-seek among the crystal trees. The pod drifted in silence, just another piece of space junk floating in the endless dark. Then something changed. A soft blue light touched Kira's eyelids. She opened her eyes slowly, thinking she was dreaming. Outside the window, lights were moving in the darkness. Not the harsh red lights of Krax ships. These were different, gentler, like stars that had come down to dance around her pod. The lights got brighter, bigger. Kira's heart started beating faster. Was this death? Was she seeing things because of the bad air? No, something real was out there. Something huge was coming toward her. A ship. A massive ship unlike anything she had ever seen. It wasn't sleek like Zalani vessels or angular like Krax warships. It looked lived in, like a home that traveled among the stars. "Impossible," Kira whispered with her last good breath. Who could be out here? Who would save a dying alien from a race no one had ever heard of? The answer was coming, and it would change everything. First contact, Kira woke up feeling warm for the first time in days. Soft white light filled the room around her. Clean air moved through her lungs without any pain. She was lying on something comfortable, not the hard metal floor of her escape pod. Where was she? Kira tried to sit up, but her body felt weak and shaky. Her head spun like she had been sleeping for a very long time. "Easy there," said a gentle voice. "You're safe now." Kira turned her head and saw the strangest creature she had ever seen. It walked on two legs like a Zelani, but had no fur, no scales, no natural armor. Just smooth, pale skin. Dark hair covered the top of its head, and small blue eyes looked at her with concern. What are you?" Kira whispered. The creature smiled. Its mouth was small and showed white teeth. "I'm Dr. Martinez. I'm a human. You're aboard our ship, the Wanderer. Human." Kira had never heard of that species before. In her studies of the galaxy, she had learned about hundreds of different races, but never humans. "How long was I unconscious?" Kira asked. 3 days, Dr. Martinez said, checking a small device in her hands. "You were in pretty bad shape when we found you. No oxygen, dehydrated, nearly frozen. But you're tough. Your body fought hard to stay alive." The door to the room opened with a soft whoosh. Another human entered. This one was taller, with dark skin and short gray hair. The way it moved showed strength and authority. "I'm Captain Sarah Chen," the newcomer said. "Welcome aboard the Wanderer. What's your name?" "Kira," she said softly. "Kira of the Zelani." Captain Chen's eyes grew sad. "We found your escape pod floating near what used to be your home system. I'm sorry for your loss." Kira felt tears coming again. "You saw what happened? You saw my world burn?" "We arrived too late to help," Chen said, sitting in a chair beside the bed. "But we found your message. We know what the cracks did to your people." The kindness in the human's voice surprised Kira. In her experience, stronger species didn't care about weaker ones. The galaxy was full of hunters and prey. The strong took what they wanted from the weak, but these humans had saved her. They had used their own medical supplies to heal her. They gave her a clean room and soft bed. Why would they waste resources on a dying alien? "I don't understand," Kira said. "Why did you rescue me? What do you want?" Captain Chen looked confused. "Want? We don't want anything. You needed help, so we helped you, but I'm just one person. My people are all dead. I have nothing to offer you. No technology, no resources, no useful skills." Dr. Martinez and Captain Chen looked at each other with strange expressions. "Kira," Dr. Martinez said gently, "we didn't save you because you could give us something. We saved you because it was the right thing to do." This made no sense to Kira. Every species she knew about followed the same rules. The strong survive, the weak die. Everyone looks out for themselves first. It was the way of the universe. "Where are you from?" Kira asked. "What part of the galaxy do humans control?" "We don't control anything," Captain Chen said. "We're explorers. We travel the stars, see new worlds, meet new people. And when you meet species weaker than you, what do you do to them?" Chen's face grew hard. "We protect them." Kira stared at the human captain. "Protect them? From what?" "From species like the cracks," Chen said. "From anyone who thinks might makes right. From anyone who hurts innocent people. Impossible." Kira had never heard of a strong species that protected weaker ones. It went against everything she knew about how the galaxy worked. "The Cracks Empire controls hundreds of systems," Kira said. "They have massive fleets and powerful weapons. They've destroyed dozens of peaceful worlds like mine. If you try to fight them, they'll kill you too." Captain Chen stood up slowly. Something dangerous flickered in her eyes. "Tell me about the cracks," she said quietly. "Tell me everything. How many ships do they have? Where are their bases? How do they choose their targets? Why?" Kira asked, suddenly frightened by the change in the human's voice. "Because," Chen said, "it's time someone made them pay for what they've done." Dr. Martinez stepped forward. "Sarah, you're scaring her." But Kira wasn't scared anymore. She was confused and amazed. These humans weren't just kind. They were angry. Angry about what happened to people they had never met. Angry about injustice they hadn't suffered themselves. "You would fight the cracks for me?" Kira whispered. "For my dead people?" "Not just for you," Captain Chen said. "For everyone they've hurt. For everyone they might hurt in the future." Kira felt something strange growing in her chest, something she thought had died with her world. "Captain," a new voice called from the doorway. Another human in a uniform stood there. "You need to see this. We've been monitoring Crack's communications. They're planning another attack." Chen's jaw tightened. "Where?" "The Palin system. Peaceful traders mostly. No weapons, no military. The Crack's fleet will reach them in 4 days. Captain Chen turned to Kira. Kira nodded. They're like my people were, artists and farmers. They make beautiful jewelry from crystal dust. Not anymore, Chen said grimly. Not if the Cracks get to them first. She walked to the door, then stopped and looked back at Kira. Rest and get your strength back, she said. When you're ready, I want you to tell me everything you know about Crack's tactics. Their weapons, their weaknesses. What are you planning? Kira asked. Captain Chen's smile was sharp and dangerous. We're going to introduce the Cracks to humanity. Human preparations. Kira thought she knew what the Wanderer looked like. She was wrong. Standing in the main corridor, she watched in shock as the ship transformed around her. Metal panels slid away to reveal hidden weapon ports. Walls rotated to show armor plating underneath. The gentle lights changed to red battle alerts. What's happening? Kira asked Dr. Martinez, who was hurrying past with medical supplies. We're getting ready for war, the doctor replied. The Wanderer isn't just an exploration ship. She's also a warship. Crew members rushed through the hallways with military precision. Gone were the casual clothes and friendly smiles. Now they wore dark uniforms and carried weapons. Their faces were serious and focused. Captain Chen's voice echoed through the ship speakers. All hands to battle stations. This is not a drill. We have innocent lives to save. Kira followed the flow of people toward the main bridge. The door slid open, and she gasped at what she saw. The bridge had completely changed. Computer screens showed tactical maps and weapon systems. Officers sat at control stations, their fingers dancing over glowing buttons. In the center, Captain Chen stood behind a command chair, studying a holographic display of the Pelin system. Estimated Crack's arrival time? Chen asked. 72 hours, Captain, replied a young human with red hair. Their fleet consists of 12 heavy cruisers and 4 command ships. Chen nodded grimly. What about civilian evacuation? The Pelin have no military ships, another officer reported. Only cargo vessels and passenger transports. They can't evacuate everyone in time. Kira stepped forward. Captain, you can't fight that many Crack ships with just one vessel. It's suicide. Chen turned to her with a small smile. Who said we only have one ship? She touched a control on her chair. The main screen flickered and showed empty space. Computer, decloak the fleet, Chen ordered. Suddenly the space around the Wanderer filled with ships. Dozens of them, all different sizes and shapes, but clearly human vessels. They appeared out of nowhere like ghosts becoming solid. Kira's mouth fell open. How many ships do you have? This is just Task Force 7, Chen said proudly. We have 11 other task forces scattered across the galaxy. A new human approached, an older man with gray beard and scars on his hands. Captain, I've finished analyzing the Crack's battle records that Kira provided. Their tactics are brutal but predictable. Thank you, Commander Torres, Chen said. Kira, I want you to meet our tactical officer. He used to fight in the Earth Defense Forces. Torres shook Kira's hand gently. I'm sorry about your people. The Crack's methods remind me of an old Earth saying, evil succeeds when good people do nothing. Earth? Kira asked. Our home world, Torres explained. We learned the hard way that sometimes you have to fight to protect what's good in the universe. Captain Chen led Kira to a quiet corner of the bridge. On the wall hung a large display filled with photographs, hundreds of different alien faces looking back at them. This is our Wall of the Lost, Chen said softly. Every species the Cracks have destroyed, every civilization we arrived too late to save. Kira saw faces like her own, gentle beings with kind eyes. Artists, teachers, children, all dead now. We started this war 5 years ago, Chen continued, after we found the ruins of the Altarian homeworld. Beautiful people who made music from starlight. The Cracks killed them all for sport. Tears ran down Kira's face as she looked at the photos. So many lost voices, so many empty worlds. We swore an oath that day, Chen said. Never again. No more innocent people would die while we could prevent it. But why? Kira whispered. Why do you care so much about strangers? Most species only protect their own kind. Chen was quiet for a moment. Then she smiled sadly. Because we know what it's like to almost lose everything. Earth was nearly destroyed in a war centuries ago. We survived because a few good people refused to give up. They fought for us when we couldn't fight for ourselves. She pointed to another section of the wall, this one showing human faces. These are our people who died protecting others. They could have stayed home safely. Instead, they gave their lives for alien worlds they had never seen. Kira stared at the human faces. They looked so young, so brave. Humans don't just make friends, Chen said. We make family, and family protects family no matter what. An alarm sounded on the bridge. The communications officer called out, "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Crack's fleet. They're demanding we leave their territory." Chen walked back to her command chair, her expression turning cold and dangerous. "Put them on screen," she ordered. The main display showed a massive Crack's commander. Its insect-like face had 4 red eyes and razor-sharp teeth. When it spoke, its voice was like grinding metal. "Unknown vessels, you are trespassing in Crack's space. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." Captain Chen stepped forward, her voice calm and steady. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Human Defense Fleet. We are here to protect the innocent people of the Palin system. Leave now and no harm will come to you." The Crack's commander laughed, a horrible sound like breaking glass. "Humans, never heard of you. You have 1 ship. We have 16. Surrender now, and we might let some of you live as slaves." Chen's smile was sharp as a blade. "You're right. You've never heard of humans before." She paused, letting the words sink in. "But you're about to learn why that was a mistake." She made a cutting motion across her throat. The transmission ended. Torres stepped beside her. "Orders, Captain." Chen looked at the wall of the Lost one more time. Then at Kira. Then at her crew. "Signal the fleet," she said quietly. "It's time to show the Cracks what happens when you hurt innocent people." Red lights bathed the bridge as the Wanderer and her sister ships moved toward battle. "All ships," Chen announced over the fleet communications, "remember why we're here. Not for glory, not for conquest, for every gentle soul who died screaming while the galaxy looked the other way." Kira felt something powerful growing in her chest. These humans weren't just warriors. They were something the galaxy had never seen before. They were guardians, and the Cracks were about to discover what that meant. The battle, the Crack's fleet arrived like a swarm of angry metal insects. 16 massive warships dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Palin system. Their black hulls were covered in weapon ports and armor spikes. They moved in perfect formation, ready to destroy another peaceful world. On the Wanderer's bridge, Kira watched the enemy ships approach. Her hands shook as she counted them. So many, so powerful. "Crack's fleet is moving toward the inner planets," reported the sensor officer. "They're ignoring us completely," Captain Chen smiled coldly. "They think we're not worth their attention. Let's change their minds." The Crack's commander's ugly face appeared on the main screen again. His 4 red eyes glowed with cruel pleasure. "Foolish humans, you had your chance to leave. Now you will watch as we cleanse this system of weak life. Then we will crush your pathetic single ship." "Single ship," Chen repeated, raising one eyebrow. "Computer, show him what he's really facing." The space around the Crack's fleet suddenly filled with light as dozens of human ships decloaked. They appeared in perfect attack formation, above, below, and on all sides of the enemy vessels. The Crack's commander's confident expression changed to shock, then to fear. "Impossible," he snarled. "Where did they come from?" "Surprise," Chen said sweetly. "This is Admiral Chen to all human vessels. Remember, we're not here to conquer. We're here to liberate. Protect civilian ships at all costs. Show no mercy to those who harm innocents." The battle began with a flash of blue energy. Human ships moved like dancers, fast and graceful. Their weapons fired in coordinated bursts that lit up the darkness. The Crack's fleet tried to respond, but they were surrounded and confused. Kira had seen Crack's ships destroy her world with ease. She expected them to be unbeatable warriors, but against the humans they looked clumsy and slow. "How are we winning?" she whispered to Commander Torres. "Because we fight for different reasons," Torres replied, never taking his eyes off his tactical display. "The Cracks fight to destroy. We fight to protect. That changes everything." On the main screen, Kira watched a human destroyer save a Palin passenger ship from Crack's missiles. The human captain could have used those seconds to attack enemy vessels instead. but he chose to save lives. Human ship defiant to Pallin transport vessel, came a voice over the communications. You're safe now. Get your people to the evacuation zone. Thank you, unknown friends, replied a grateful Pallin voice. We will remember this kindness forever. More voices joined in, Pallin civilians thanking their human rescuers, children singing songs of gratitude, families crying with relief. The Crack's commander grew more frustrated with each passing minute. His ships were built for destroying helpless targets, not fighting skilled opponents who cared about each other. All Crack's vessels, ignore the civilians, he screamed. Focus fire on the human ships. But it was too late. The human fleet had already evacuated most of the Pallin population to safety. Now they could fight without worrying about innocent lives. Chen's voice echoed across the fleet. Phase 2, people. Time to end this. The human ships changed tactics. Instead of defensive maneuvers, they went on full attack. Their coordination was perfect, like a pack of wolves hunting together. Kira watched in amazement as human captains sacrificed strategic advantages to help their teammates. When the ship Yorktown was surrounded by 3 Crack's cruisers, 2 other human vessels immediately broke formation to assist, even though it left them vulnerable. Why did they do that? Kira asked. It would have been smarter to maintain formation. Torres smiled proudly. Because no human fights alone. We succeed together or we fail together. The Cracks had never faced enemies like this. Their entire strategy was based on fear and overwhelming force against weaker opponents. But humans weren't afraid, and they weren't weak. One by one, Crack's ships began to fall. Then something unexpected happened. Captain, the communications officer called out. We're receiving transmissions from other parts of Crack's space. Multiple species are rising up against their oppressors. Chen turned to stare at the officer. What do you mean? The Andorian slave colonies have rebelled. The Vec mining worlds are fighting back. Species across the Crack's empire are breaking their chains. Kira felt her heart racing. But how? Why now? Torres grinned. News travels fast in space. Word is spreading that the mighty Crack's fleet is being beaten by a species they'd never heard of. If humans can fight them and win, maybe others can too. On the tactical display, more Crack ships were exploding in balls of fire. The enemy formation was falling apart. Some ships were trying to retreat, but human vessels blocked their escape routes. The Crack's commander's face appeared on screen one last time. His arrogant expression was gone, replaced by desperate fear. This isn't possible, he whispered. The Crack's empire has ruled for 1,000 years. We are the strongest. We are the masters of the galaxy. Captain Chen leaned forward in her command chair. She corrected. You were the strongest. But strength isn't just about weapons and fear. Real strength comes from protecting others, from standing together, from refusing to let evil win. She gestured to her crew, to the other human ships. To the rescued civilians, you made one mistake, Commander. You thought the galaxy was full of prey waiting to be hunted. But you were wrong. It's full of friends we haven't met yet, and now they're all going to meet us. The last Crack's command ship exploded in a brilliant flash of light. Silence fell over the Pallin system. Then slowly celebration began. Pallin voices filled the communication channels, singing songs of joy and freedom. Other alien species across the galaxy sent messages of hope and gratitude. Captain Chen turned to Kira with tears in her eyes. Your people have been avenged, she said softly. The Cracks will never hurt anyone else. But Kira was staring at the sensor display with wide, disbelieving eyes. Captain, she whispered, look at the long-range scanners. Something's happening near my home system. Chen looked at the display and gasped. Ships were emerging from asteroid fields and hidden bases around Kira's destroyed world. Not Crack ships, not human ships, familiar ships with the gentle curves and crystal decorations of Zilani design. Impossible, Kira breathed. They're all dead. I saw them die, but the sensor readings didn't lie. Hundreds of Zilani signatures were appearing on the screen. Chen smiled and put a hand on Kira's shoulder. Looks like you weren't the last survivor after all. Hope reborn. Kira's hands shook as she stared at the impossible sight on the scanner. Dozens of Zilani ships were rising from hidden bases in the asteroid fields around her destroyed homeworld. Ships she recognized. Ships that should have been destroyed 3 weeks ago. "This can't be real," she whispered. "I watched them die. I saw the fires." Captain Chen placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Sometimes the impossible is just what we haven't discovered yet. Communications. Open a channel to the Zilani vessels." The main screen flickered and showed a face that made Kira's heart stop. It was Elder Terran, the oldest and wisest of her people. His silver fur was matted and his kind eyes showed exhaustion, but he was alive, very much alive. "This is Elder Terran of the Zilani Resistance," came his familiar warm voice. "We detect human ships in our system. Please state your intentions." Kira rushed forward, tears streaming down her face. "Elder Terran! It's me, it's Kira!" The old Zilani's eyes went wide with shock and joy. "Kira, my child, we thought you were dead. How did you escape? Where have you been?" "I thought I was the only one left," Kira sobbed. "I thought everyone was gone." "Gone? Child, what are you talking about?" Captain Chen stepped forward. "Elder Terran, I'm Captain Sarah Chen of the Human Defense Fleet. We found Kira floating in an escape pod near your homeworld. She believed your entire species had been wiped out by the cracks." Elder Theron's face grew sad. "The surface cities were destroyed, yes. Many good people died. But when the cracks first appeared, we activated our ancient emergency protocols. Thousands of our people evacuated to the underground crystal caves and hidden asteroid bases." Kira felt like the universe was spinning around her. The old mining tunnels. But they were abandoned centuries ago. "Abandoned by miners, yes," Theron smiled. "But perfect for hiding from genocidal monsters. We've been living there for weeks, waiting for the cracks to leave so we could start rebuilding." "How many?" Kira asked, hardly daring to hope. "How many survived?" "Nearly half our population," Theron replied proudly. "Almost 2 million souls, including your parents." Kira collapsed into a nearby chair. "My parents? They're alive?" The screen split to show another face, her mother with tears of joy in her gentle eyes. "My brave daughter," her mother whispered. "We never gave up hope that you would return to us." Captain Chen wiped tears from her own eyes. Even her battle-hardened crew was emotional watching the reunion. "Elder Terran," Chen said, "your people are safe now. The Cracks fleet has been destroyed. They will never threaten anyone again." "Destroyed?" Terran looked amazed. "The entire Cracks empire? Their military forces, yes. And their empire is crumbling as species across the galaxy rise up for freedom. It's over." Over the next few hours, the Wanderer and her fleet helped coordinate the biggest rescue operation Kira had ever seen. Human ships worked alongside Zilani vessels to bring the survivors out of hiding. Families reunited in the crystal caves. Children who had been living in darkness for weeks stepped into the light again. Artists showed humans the beautiful murals they had painted on cave walls to keep their spirits up during the long, dark days. Kira stood in the main cavern where her people had hidden, watching humans and Zilani working together. Human engineers helped repair Zilani equipment. Zilani artists created welcome gifts for their human rescuers. Children from both species played together, laughing despite not speaking the same language. "It's beautiful," Captain Chen said, joining Kira at the cavern entrance. "Your people never lost hope." "They're not just my people anymore," Kira replied softly. "You risked everything to save strangers you'd never met. You fought a war for us. You're family now," Chen smiled. "That's how humans work. We don't just make allies. We make family." Elder Terran approached them with a group of other Zilani leaders. "Captain Chen, we can never repay what you've done for us. But we want to try. The Zilani wish to join your alliance." "What alliance?" Chen asked, confused. "The one you're going to create," Terran said wisely. "Word is spreading across the galaxy about the species that fights for others. The humans who protect the weak and stand against tyranny. Many races want to join you." Chen looked surprised. "We're not trying to build an empire." "No," Kira said, understanding dawning in her eyes. "You're building something better, a family of species that protects each other." Over the following days, representatives from dozens of worlds arrived in the Zephyr system. Species that had been oppressed by the Cracks, others who had heard about the humans and wanted to meet them, some who simply believed that good people should stick together. They came from across the galaxy. The artistic Pelin with their crystal jewelry, the peaceful Andorians with their beautiful songs, The wise Vec with their ancient knowledge, all seeking the same thing, a chance to be part of something better. Kira stood on the bridge of the Wanderer, now serving as the first Zilani ambassador to the new alliance. She watched as construction ships from a dozen worlds worked together to build the first joint research station orbiting her homeworld. Still can't believe it's real, she said to Captain Chen. Which part? That your people survived, or that the galaxy is finally coming together? All of it, Kira laughed. A month ago I thought I was going to die alone in space. Now look at this. Through the window, they could see ships from 20 different species working side by side. The new Alliance flag flew from each vessel, a simple design showing hands from different species reaching toward the stars. Together, Chen handed Kira a small recording device, the same one she had used in her escape pod. Your final message, Chen said. The one you made when you thought you were dying. We saved it. Kira took the device and looked at it thoughtfully. I said I didn't know if anyone would find it. I was wrong. She activated the recorder one more time. My name is Kira of the Zilani people, she said, her voice strong and clear. But I'm not just Zilani anymore. I'm also part of something bigger, something that proves the universe isn't cold and empty and cruel. She looked around at the mixed crews working on the bridge. Humans, Zilani, Palin, and others all united in common purpose. I thought I was alone. I was wrong. None of us are alone anymore. The galaxy is full of friends we haven't met yet. And together, we're going to make sure that no one ever has to face the darkness by themselves again. She clicked off the recorder and smiled at Captain Chen. Thank you, she said simply, for showing us what's possible when good people refuse to give up. Chen smiled back. Thank you for reminding us why we fight. Outside the window, the stars shone brighter than ever before. Not because they had changed, but because for the first time in galactic history, they shone on a universe where hope was stronger than fear, where family meant more than blood, where no one had to face the darkness alone. The age of the Alliance had begun. Over the next few hours, the Wanderer and her fleet helped coordinate the biggest rescue operation Kira had ever seen. Human ships worked alongside Zilani vessels to bring the survivors out of hiding. Families reunited in the crystal caves. Children who had been living in darkness for weeks stepped into the light again. Artists showed humans the beautiful murals they had painted on cave walls to keep their spirits up during the long, dark days. Kira stood in the main cavern where her people had hidden, watching humans and Zilani working together. Human engineers helped repair Zilani equipment. Zilani artists created welcome gifts for their human rescuers. Children from both species played together, laughing despite not speaking the same language. It's beautiful, Captain Chen said, joining Kira at the cavern entrance. Your people never lost hope. They're not just my people anymore, Kira replied softly. You risked everything to save strangers you'd never met. You fought a war for us. You're family now, Chen smiled. That's how humans work. We don't just make allies, we make family. Elder Theron approached them with a group of other Zilani leaders. Captain Chen, we can never repay what you've done for us. But we want to try. The Zilani wish to join your alliance. What alliance? Chen asked, confused. The one you're going to create, Terran said wisely. Word is spreading across the galaxy about the species that fights for others. The humans who protect the weak and stand against tyranny. Many races want to join you. Chen looked surprised. We're not trying to build an empire. No, Kira said, understanding dawning in her eyes. You're building something better. A family of species that protects each other. Over the following days, representatives from dozens of worlds arrived in the Zephyr system. Species that had been oppressed by the cracks. Others who had heard about the humans and wanted to meet them. Some who simply believed that good people should stick together. They came from across the galaxy. The artistic Palin with their crystal jewelry. The peaceful Andorians with their beautiful songs. The wise Vec with their ancient knowledge. All seeking the same thing, a chance to be part of something better. Kira stood on the bridge of the Wanderer, now serving as the first Zilani ambassador to the new alliance. She watched as construction ships from a dozen worlds worked together to build the first joint research station orbiting her homeworld. Still can't believe it's real, she said to Captain Chen. Which part? That your people survived, or that the galaxy is finally coming together? All of it, Kira laughed. A month ago, I thought I was going to die alone in space. Now look at this. Through the window, they could see ships from 20 different species working side by side. The new Alliance flag flew from each vessel, a simple design showing hands from different species reaching toward the stars. Together, Chen handed Kira a small recording device. The same one she had used in her escape pod. Your final message, Chen said. The one you made when you thought you were dying. We saved it. Kira took the device and looked at it thoughtfully. I said I didn't know if anyone would find it. I was wrong. She activated the recorder one more time. My name is Kira of the Zilani people, she said, her voice strong and clear. But I'm not just Zilani anymore. I'm also part of something bigger. Something that proves the universe isn't cold and empty and cruel. She looked around at the mixed crews working on the bridge. Humans, Zilani, Pelin, and others, all united in common purpose. I thought I was alone. I was wrong. None of us are alone anymore. The galaxy is full of friends we haven't met yet. And together we're going to make sure that no one ever has to face the darkness by themselves again. She clicked off the recorder and smiled at Captain Chen. Thank you, she said simply. For showing us what's possible when good people refuse to give up. Chen smiled back. Thank you for reminding us why we fight. Outside the window, the stars shone brighter than ever before. Not because they had changed, but because for the first time in galactic history, they shone on a universe where hope was stronger than fear, where family meant more than blood, where no one had to face the darkness alone. The age of the Alliance had begun.